Kyle woke up. He is famous. Kyle is host of the most popular talk show, and Stay Up Late with Kyle has grown in popularity. Inside has called Kyle a most excellent. Top Tech noted that Kyle is inspiring. Most other talk shows are dedicated to discussing. Most online videos are best of clips. The Eye of the... Tonight is... Stay Up Late with Kyle will be featuring... She is dear to the hearts. Kyle cracked his eyes open. Kyle has third... Kyle wrote down his first question. Kyle wrote down his second question. Kyle wrote down his third question. Kyle wrote down his last question. Kyle scooped up. Kyle decided to take some time to choose the perfect outfit, knowing how important to people. Kyle decided on a fashion-forward, casual style. Kyle opened the fridge, intending to find something to eat. Kyle started scraping after wadding it into a crusty, moist. Several minutes of crunching later, Kyle counted out $1. This phone, said Kyle, is... Kyle continued. Also, the screen has had issues ever since I used it to hammer nails into the wall. Furthermore, when I submerge it in water, I get severely shocked. The attendant looked at Kyle, pursed his lips. Feeling he had made his argument, Kyle hurried to the set. Sitting across from his host chair was a glamorous woman with an... As Kyle approached her, Rachel looked up and... Good evening, Kyle, she said. Kyle responded. Kyle stretched... was interrupted by his producer telling him and Rachel that it was time to start the show. Kyle shoved his producer out of the way. He began to rotate slowly, screaming throughout. After several minutes, Kyle... Rachel blinked at Kyle, shrugged, and walked over to him. A moment after seating, the studio lights brightened and... Good evening, everyone, said Kyle, looking at the camera. Kyle vomited all of the horrible things. Rachel looked at Kyle, concerned, gave a couple coughs, and decided to... Kyle stopped, then vomited again. Tonight, I have the pleasure of interviewing the lovely Rachel May. However, said Kyle, suddenly dropping his voice, Rachel May is not sitting next to me. She is not new to this show. In fact, Rachel looked at Kyle, confused. Kyle stood up quickly and threw his arm. I have never been, Kyle, he proclaimed. I have never been the host of the show Stay Up Late with Kyle. Kyle looked and pointed directly at the camera. Kyle sat down in his chair and went to produce. Kyle read the first question on his list. Kyle replied, No, because I am my mother. And, continued Kyle, I am your mother. I'm also your children and that woman you met in the coffee shop yesterday. And I'm your friends and I'm that person next to you. Nobody seemed to... It's a magic trick! Kyle got up and happily danced out of... Although not taken seriously at first, somehow, magically, Kyle became... After a massive amount of study, it was found... Nobody really knew what to do with this newfound... Kyle continued to be theoretically everyone, and it was a strange time to be alive.